be a team with me. So nice, life would be so nice if one day I find someone who would take my hand and summer through life with me. Someone to cling to me, stay with me right on. Someone to sing to me some little somber song. Someone to take my heart and give his heart to me. Someone who's ready to give love a start with me. Oh yeah, this would be so nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be so nice. To me, some little summer song. Someone to take my heart and give his heart to me. Someone who's ready to give love a start with me. Oh yeah, it would be so nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice.
Good morning, Jubilee. Good morning. If you heard that clapping like after we were clapping, that's because there are people watching. Hey, people watching out in watching land. It's lovely to have all of you present here with us today, and it's lovely to have all of you. Which camera am I supposed to be looking at there? This one over here? It's lovely to have all of you who are watching us through Zoom or YouTube or Facebook Live. I am Laura Collins. I am the Minister of Transition here at Jubilee in Asheville. And we have a beautiful team of folks who are leading and guiding this event this morning.
You know,
So thank you,
Spencer
Daniel.
Balzac on the drums over here, folks. And Ryan Crabtree on the bass. Paula, Hanke.
And you are Daniel Barber.
Daniel Barber. So during this quarter, the Via Positiva, the time when if you look outside, it's just lush. There are wildflowers blooming everywhere. The trees are full, and the cover as you walk under them feels like a warm embrace. This is the Via Positiva, and this Via Positiva, we are dancing with the divine. Dancing with the divine. What does it mean to dance with the divine? Is that dancing with the divine within ourselves? Dancing with the divine that we see in each other? Dancing with the divine that transcends all that we see and all that we fully understand? Dancing with the mystery, dancing with the creation. It's all of that, it's more. It's dancing with Gabriel in the back there. When I met this morning's speaker, Gabby, we were dancing with death. We were working with families who were dancing with death. That's another way of dancing with the divine. Maybe more of dancing with the divine in the negativa than the positiva, but another way of dancing with that mystery of life and death, of the cycles. And when you work in a situation like that, or just when you're going through life, balancing that dance with death with a dance with life is really important. And I knew that my friend Gabby, one of the ways she danced with life as we danced with death was her friendship and love of Dolly Parton. So we've all known for a long time, WWJD, what would Jesus do? This morning we're thinking, WWDD, what would Dolly do? So we're dancing with Dolly this morning. And if you are not a particular Dolly Parton fan, you can still get a lot out of this morning, I'm sure, for a lot of reasons, and maybe you'll be a Dolly Parton fan by the end. But you can also remember that Dolly is sort of a stand-in for that other person that inspires you, that other person that you look at and you see, there is something of the divine mystery in that being that awakens the divine mystery in me. So who are you dancing with today? How are you dancing with the divine today? I want to say just a word of announcement here. You may see I'm wearing my mask again, and I've got my yellow on again. In the last few weeks, it's been so fun to be with you all, and we were sort of crowded together and super huggy last week. And I noticed a few people come in looking for the little more spaced out place and wondering where they could have a little more distance. So we're trying to keep a little more distance on this side of the room today, and we've got a lot of distance on this side of the room. And so if you ever come in and you feel like there's not quite enough distance for your comfort level, you are welcome to fold up a chair near you and put it away so that you've got a little space between you and the next chair. We want each of you to really still feel comfortable as we move in and out of where we are in this pandemic, which is a changing and shifting thing. In the meantime, we do welcome you who are comfortable to be together, to be huggy, to be whatever you're comfortable being. We have childcare downstairs now for those of you who want childcare for our littler ones. And we also have these bracelets. Yellow if you're feeling a little cautious. Red if you really want to only see people from a namaste distance. All of this is part of our dance with each other, dance in community, dance in a world with changing circumstances. And so we're just dancing with the divine through all of it, trusting and believing that the divine mystery is part of this journey we're on, whatever circumstances are presenting themselves. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath. And know that as we dance with our breath, that's another way we dance with the divine. And let's prepare to dance with each other through this morning. Daniel. As Daniel is coming forward, we are going to make one more announcement that I forgot to say. If you have a cell phone with you, we would ask that you please put it on airplane mode or turn it off altogether. And this just helps keep our bandwidth in here adequate that we can live stream out to the world. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Really grateful to be here to get to do this. It's really an honor for me to get to do this. So thank you for this opportunity. Can you not hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Is that better? I'm talking softly. And I'm carrying a big stick. Okay, let's face the east. Spirits, angels who say, be not afraid, allies who are with us, guardians of the East, we acknowledge and welcome you. We are grateful for your gifts. The new day of morning, sunrise, the breath of spirit that animates us and brings us into new possibilities. Springtime that reveals the products of the things that have been creating underground over the winter. The opportunity to begin sharing these things with each other. We're so grateful for this magical gift that we have nothing to do with other than to participate. May we express our gratitude for all these things in the way that we live our lives today. Each breath. Aho. Turn and face the south. Spirits, angels, allies, guardians of the south, we acknowledge and welcome you to this circle. We are grateful for your gifts. Summertime, midday, sun, heat, the fire, expansion. We're grateful for the way that earth and air, wind succumb to fire, transformation of the elements into something new that has never existed before. We're grateful for this amazing alchemical process that makes it possible for us to experience something new every day. May we let it light our way and warm our hearts as we proceed. Face the west. Angels and allies and guardians of the West, we acknowledge and welcome you. We are grateful for your presence, the gifts that you offer, the gifts of autumn, fall, the releasing of the energies, the contraction back towards the earth, the way that fire succumbs to the water. Water just does its own thing, flowing towards the earth. We're grateful for the opportunity to let go and release, also to discern that which can nourish us going forward and that which we can let go back into the earth. We are so grateful for this gift. May we express our gratitude in the way we live our lives today. I hope. Face the north. Spirits, angels, and allies and guardians of the north, we acknowledge and welcome you this day and this moment to this circle of awareness. We are grateful for the earth, the ground that reminds us of our physical source and our destination. We're grateful for the North Star that offers us a sense of clarity and a sense of direction. Grateful for the way that your creation operates out of sight, sometimes underneath our very consciousness. Open to these magical, profound gifts that we had nothing to do with other than to get to experience them. We are so grateful. May we express our gratitude in the way that we live our lives today. I hope. Turn and face the center. As we look toward the center of this community circle, we see this altar. We see the gifts of flowers and plants, the beauty that just came on its own. We're grateful for the ways that we humans have created glass, beauty, a way to acknowledge our desire to celebrate. We come here to remind ourselves of this because it's so easy to forget. We come here to remind ourselves to come back to center, come back to that flame in the middle, and to offer our gifts as we sing. I hope.
We got some Dolly Parton for you this morning. A song called Wildflowers, maybe you know. The hills were alive with wildflowers, and I was as wild, even wilder than they. For at least I could run. They just died in the sun. I refused to just wither in place. Just a wild mountain rose needing freedom to grow. So I ran, fearing not where I'd go. When a flower goes wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. And the flowers I knew in the fields where I grew were content to be lost in the crowd. They would come and lay close. I had no room to grow, and I wanted so much to branch out. So I uprooted myself from my home ground and left. Took my dreams and I took to the road. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow.
Let's start this over, shall we? Let's start this over so we can all sing together.
The hills were alive with wildflowers, and I was as wild, even wilder than they. For at least I could run. They just died in the sun, and I refused to just wither in place. Just a wild rose needs freedom to grow, so I ran, fearing not where I go. When a wildflower grows, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow.
Let's put some money in those baskets after sitting too. Because we can.
And the flowers I knew in the fields where I grew were content to be lost in the crowd. They were commonly close. I had no room to grow, and I'm only so much to branch out. So I uprooted myself from my home ground and left. Took my dreams and I took to the road. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. Here we go. I grew up fast and wild, and I never felt right in a garden so different from me. I just never belonged. I just longed to be gone, so that God one day set me free. I cried with the wind, and since he was my friend, I just left him beside where we go. When a wildflower grows, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. Here we go. Just a wild rambling rose, seeking mysteries untold. No regrets for the path that I chose. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. She needs no introduction here. But this is Delia Bailey, everybody, offering a gift of song this morning.
I'm going to tell y'all that Dolly is one of my heroes. She is one of the most amazing humans walking the earth today. She's done so much good and spread joy and love and helped others. She helps little kids with books. She's helped the people that had fires in her area with money and things that really made a difference. So she's one of my heroes. And it's quite a challenge singing one of her songs. She's so talented. The range she has is amazing. So I won't be as good as her, but I'll do my best.
You'll be you. That's what we want.
It's been a long, dark night. And I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight. But I see a brand new day dawning. And I've been looking alright, that's been all wrong. 'Cause I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. I can't see the light of a brand new day. I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. It's been a long, long time since I've known the taste of freedom. Those clinging vines have me down, well, I don't need them. Oh, I've been like a captured eagle. You know, an eagle's born to fly. Now that I have won my freedom, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. 'Cause I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. I can't see the light of a brand new day. I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. I can't see the light of a brand new day. I can't see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay. And you can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay.
Delia, you are awesome. Let's have another round of applause for Delia. That's great. I won my country western shirt just for today. The Divine Mother has a way of inserting herself into every culture, into every life, relentlessly, just when they need them the most. When I was a child, my mother exposed me to the legend of 3 women who upended the patriarchy in a very clever way. They devised a plan by way of a magical mist and toppled an evil regime. She took me to see 9 to 5. And, you know, sometimes for lack of a babysitter, she would take me to women's lib meetings. I was a really young feminist. But Dolly Parton had a very early impression on me as a powerful woman. And then, as an adult, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was walking down the street arm in arm with Dolly. I don't dream about celebrities, but I'm walking down the street arm in arm with Dolly, and we hear a noise behind us, and there's a journalist. This journalist is saying, "Get that man off your arm. He's going to try to get with you." Dolly turns around and says, "No. This man is as gay as you met. Now you get it. You be gone, or you be nice to people. You be nice to people." And she just turned to me, just like Delia just sang. "Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay." That's what we need to hear from the Divine Mother. That's what we're hearing from the Divine Mother. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. It's what we listen for in prayer. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. I invite you to breathe deeply as we enter this prayer time. Grab some bowls, some bells, light candles at the prayer wall. Let the wildflowers grow again in China, in Germany, Siberia, Ethiopia, the western states, in the streets under the bridges of Asheville, in our hearts where they hurt, for the children, for the seniors that feel alone. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. With you. I invite you all, as we sing, share God's holy name.
So let's sing along together. When it comes back around, come back and sing them. After you share, come back and sing them with us again. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the sky, for the love which from our over and around the skies, over and around the skies, the Lord of all
So this morning, in the spot of the second gift, we're doing our Jubilee in action. And we decided to move it earlier in the service for lots of reasons. But one, just, it felt like it was a lot of information to take in after listening to someone talk for a while. So we're trying it here today. It may go in another place another time, but we're experimenting a little and moving it around. And another thing we're going to get back to doing now that we're back in person is having folks come up and make announcements. We'll do that little 30-second bell. So, but the groups that have things going on will be making announcements. But for today, I'm going to make most of them. So you may have noticed some produce on your way in today. That produce was grown by Joslin, who's down in our children's, helping out with the childcare this morning. She is going into the 8th grade this year, and she's bringing things from her garden to share. You're welcome to take them. It's on an honor system. She would love a donation if you have one to give, and it will go toward her, helping her with her education. We have announced this week that next week, if you decide to stay home and watch, and for those of you who are staying home and watching, we're going to drop the Zoom. We're still going to be live streaming every Sunday. We're going to be live streaming from YouTube. We're going to be live streaming from Facebook. Facebook, you have to have a Facebook account to get to Facebook Live. YouTube, you do not. Now, if you want to join in the comment section, you do have to have a YouTube account. But just to watch us on YouTube, you do not have to form an account or anything. So we'll have instructions about that in this week's newsletter. Some outreach info. We had you all coming up and putting money into the hunger baskets at the first song, and thank you for doing that. You've been doing that all along, even when we just had donate buttons on our internet. And so I wanted to let you know, and we'll be hearing more from each of these groups in the coming weeks, that last quarter you gave to 3 organizations that deal with hunger. You gave to Children First, the Swannanoa Valley Christian Ministry, and WNC Health Services. And this quarter, as you put money in the hunger baskets, we're dealing specifically with housing and homelessness. So this money will be going to Homeward Bound, to the Haywood Street Congregation, to Mountain Housing Opportunities, to Asheville Habitat for Humanity, and to Pisco Legal Services. So just know, and we'll, yeah, yay you for your good outreach. And we'll be hearing more from some of those organizations. And now I would like to turn it over to Michael Smith. Some of you may not know Michael. If you don't, you should get to know Michael. He's amazing. He's a member of our board, and back in March, our board was doing some brainstorming. This was back before we knew when we'd be in person again, and we said, let's try some mini retreats this summer. And Michael jumped on that. So Michael, come on up and tell us about it.
Well, hopefully you've heard or read some of the buzz about our upcoming mini retreats. As you know, around Jubilee, we talk often about keeping focused on the main thing. Now, show of hands, how many of you love the openness of that main thing kind of tagline? Okay, How many of you either don't like it or keep wondering, silently of course, what the heck is the main thing anyway? How many of you are in that category? Okay, that's me. Well, either way, you're in luck. The theme of our retreats that are coming up here beginning next week and into July will be trying to rediscover the main thing. And what is the main thing? And I say rediscover because even way back since the retirement of our main founder man, Howard, we've been through a long and winding and often painful road, including our COVID-enforced separation from each other for a long time. So even if we thought we knew what the main thing was 2 or 3 years ago, at this point, we got no clue. So in our retreats, we're going to work on getting some clarity to that question, what's the main thing? Now, I'll have to confess, we may not actually succeed in unscrewing the inscrutable, but we are, if I may mix metaphors, we're going to give a good Jubilee whack at the piñata of that question. So, you're a vital part of this community, and you want to be a part of this mix, and we want you to be a part of this mix. Laura Collins, Daniel Barber, Molly Pritchard, Maureen Lindeman, and I have been planning, and we will all be working together leading each of those retreats as well. So at the retreats, there's going to be a lot of dancing, movement, singing, talking, sharing, creating, and you'll be free to mask or distance or participate at your own comfort level. Let me quickly list the 3 options. The first one is next Saturday, July 31st. It'll be from 9 to 1 at the Evergreen Charter School. And if you have not yet signed up for that one, but would like to participate, we need you to do so by Tuesday so we can be sure to get all the food preparations and so on taken care of. The next one is August 10th on a Tuesday, and then Sunday the 29th will be here following the celebration at Jubilee. So sign up for one of these 3 retreats, either online at jubileecommunity.org under the Jubilee in Action session, or in the hallway right after celebration. I'll be out there. Thanks.
Most of you knew Sandy Jones, and I wanted to extend this invitation. She died in the middle of COVID, and we were not able to celebrate her life the way we wanted to. In her 5 wishes, she asked for a party. And so we are going to gather at the Craggy Gardens picnic area today at 4 o'clock and have a party to celebrate Sandy. Everyone's welcome. Bring something to share. It's really kind of, you know, bring what you need. We're not providing a whole lot of stuff except just the plan. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie Davis. Thank you, Michael Smith. There you went back. Let's lean now into listening to some ancient and not so ancient words. Thank you. From the Gospel of Thomas, the 70th saying. Jesus said, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. If you do not bring forth that within you, what you do not have within you will destroy you." And some of you may know that Dolly Parton also did some children's songs. And from one of those, we read, "Just like that little story that we've all read about that says, I think I can, I am here to shout that there's a little engine inside all of us that says we can do anything if we just don't give up." Friends, this is ancient wisdom and holy word. creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings with wisdom of God. Hallelujah. All right, I am so pleased to welcome my friend Gabby Michael today. Gabby is an interfaith minister. She's currently working on the staff at Unity of the Blue Ridge in Mills River, North Carolina. We work together at Mission Hospital as trauma chaplains and end-of-life counselors. And Gabby has a lot more in her story, that some of which she's going to be sharing with you today. But Gabby, welcome to Jubilee.
Thank you for having me here. I've often said, before I found God, I found Dolly Parton. I'll never forget the day I first heard her sing. I was driving, and I wasn't driving. I was actually 12 years old. My mom was driving, and the song Here You Come Again came on the radio. And I remember recognizing her voice somehow, as if she was speaking to my soul. And there was a deep knowing in me that this was going to be a woman that was going to have a tremendous impact in my life. Now, my stepfather was the original host of the Hollywood Squares. His name was Peter Marshall, and most people don't know him because he's really old. But let me just turn this up. All right, well, he's 95 actually, and honestly, he survived COVID, and it's a miracle. So I'm very grateful to still have him. But anyway, because Dolly Parton had once been on Hollywood Squares, I was able to meet her for the first time when my stepdad got me backstage passes. It was September 24th, 1979, and it was at the Universal Amphitheater. And that was a day that, it was the only day in like the entire history of my childhood that it was pouring rain. And the Universal Amphitheater at the time was open. So I was devastated and really worried all day long, thinking, I'm not gonna be able to see the concert. I'm not gonna be able to see the concert. It's pouring, it's pouring. And as we were driving to the concert, it was like the parting of the Red Sea. The clouds started parting and I could see the sky, and it was like, it's a miracle. It was unbelievable. It was the best concert, and I was so excited to be able to meet her afterwards. It was very brief, but again, it was that feeling of, I know you, you know? And so a few months later, my stepdad brought me to the set of 9 to 5 so that I could hang out with her for the whole day. And like any teenager, I brought a garbage bag filled with gifts for her. And I'd made this 3D, you know how you like insert something to make a 3D butterfly for her? And it had glitter all around the edges and everything. I don't know if you're familiar with glitter, but it gets all over everything. So when she whipped it out of the bag, it was like, woo, of glitter everywhere in her trailer. But, oh, sorry about that. So she took the butterfly out, and she loved that, and inside the bag there was also a picture of me dressed as her for Halloween. And as she looked at the picture, she flicked off the glitter and said, well, wow, you look just like me. And I looked nothing like her. And I also had some lyrics to a song that I'd written about her. And inside, I also had a demo tape. I had started singing, and I was really excited about sharing it with her because I sang one of her songs, Two Doors Down. And so I gave her the tape, and she said, oh, this is wonderful. Well, I'll have a listen to it, and I'll call you and let you know what I think. And I was like, yay. So then I ran out to tell my dad, oh, yay, Dolly wants to hear my CD, not my CD, my tape. And I was very excited. And you know, there's Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. And I was like, whatever. Anyway, Dolly. I was so excited about Dolly. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, after watching her, you know, shoot a bunch of different scenes and stuff, I went home and I was waiting for Dolly to call. And this was probably my first spiritual lesson that I got from her. I kept coming home from school and saying, "Did Dolly call? Did Dolly call?" And my stepdad said, "Honey, she's very busy. I really want you to like curb your excitement because she probably won't be able to call you." And I was like, "Oh no, I believe. She said she's gonna call me. I believe." And I believed. And the next day I'd come running home from school and I'd say, "Did Dolly call? Did Dolly call?" "No, honey, she didn't call." So it was like 5 or 6 days later, and I'm in my room, and all of a sudden, I hear my mom screaming, running down the stairs, "Gabby, Dolly's on the phone!" I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I go tearing upstairs, and I grab the phone. "Hello?" And she says, "Well, hello, star." I'll never forget it. And she said, "You sound just like a cross between me, Barbara Streisand, and what was that? Linda Ronstadt." Yeah, and I thought, oh my gosh, it was like just unbelievable that she would call me. But I believed. And so that set up this whole foundation of me believing in things, believing in the power of our thoughts. So it wasn't a surprise when, as a singer, I also wanted to be a minister, and so I began going to ministerial school, but that was later on. I built a relationship with her after that time, and I had like a kind of innocence that just allowed me to pick up the phone and call her or call her people and say, "Hey, this is Gabby, and Dolly'd like to, like me to come and visit, and I know she'd love to see me." And I just had like like they used to laugh at how like they couldn't believe that I'd have everybody at her office up and hopping and getting in touch with her and all that. And I'd get, visit her on all these sets and backstage at the Tonight Show and all this stuff. And then I turned 21, and it's like adulthood set in. And you know that story in the Bible where Jesus is walking on water, and Peter wakes up and it's a storm, and he looks out and he sees Jesus walking on the water, and Jesus says, "Fear not, take my hand and step out and walk with me." And so he does, and he's walking on water. So I was walking on water for those first years. And what Peter does is he looks down and he starts to sink into the water and panic. And that's kind of what happened when I turned 21. I looked down and I realized, oh my gosh, this is Dolly Parton. Like, I can't call her and just say, "Hey, I need a drive on at the, this studio or that studio." And so I kind of lost that innocence that gave me the ability to just call. So I lost touch with her for 8 years, and that kind of leads to my spiritual lesson number 2 that I got from her. So as most Californians do, I was taking a channeling class and learning how to channel when in the middle of the class, the teacher said, "Okay, so now you're going to get a message from Spirit that you need to know for this week." So I got the words, "Don't delay." And I was like, okay, well, maybe, it's don't delay about my career, or don't delay, I don't know. And so I shared what my experience was, and that I heard the words "don't delay." And, I said, "It might have to do with my career." And she said, "No, it has something to do with this week, and you'll know it when it comes." And I was like, okay. So it was a Wednesday morning, and I'm just waking up early, and I'm laying in bed, and I start to think about Dolly. And I was like, I miss her. And then I hear the words really loud, "Don't delay, don't delay, don't delay." And I was like, okay, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this "don't delay." So I started thinking, I mean, do I even know anybody that's connected with her anymore? Do I even know her office number? Like, I don't know anything anymore. And by this point, my stepdad had stopped doing Hollywood Squares, had retired from that. So I didn't know how to reconnect. And so I called my mom and I was like, I don't know, Mom. I had this don't delay message and I don't know what to do. I mean, maybe she's gonna be on the Tonight Show this week or something. Let me look. So I opened the TV guide and I'm looking on Friday. No, she's not on Friday. Thursday. No, she's not on Thursday. Today. Oh my gosh, she's on the Tonight Show today, which means they film today. So I was like, who do I call? So I figured I've got to call her agent. So I found that innocence again, and I just called. And I said, you know, I'm an old acquaintance of Dolly's, and I haven't seen her in forever, but I noticed that she's going to be on the Tonight Show, and I just wondered if I could come and see her. Would you call her and ask her? And I couldn't believe I said it. She said, okay, let me get your number, and she hung up the phone, and I just was like elated that I even made the call. It didn't matter if she wanted to see me or didn't want to see me. It was like I pushed past that block that I'd had. 10 minutes later, the phone rings, and this woman says, Dolly is so excited, she can't wait to see you. She said it's been ages, and there'll be a drive-on for you at the studio, and blah, blah, blah. So I went to visit her, and it was just so lovely. And she said, you know, the office mentioned that you called and wanted to see me. And I said, yeah, I just missed you. I hadn't seen you in such a long time. And it was so nice because I know a lot of people ask things of her, and I didn't want to do that. And it was just us chatting about she was having a hard time and I was, you know, having a hard time. Like there were things that we shared that was really wonderful. So it reconnected us, which was a really nice thing. My spiritual path led to my ordination, and I then recorded my first CD in the year 2003, and I was releasing it in 2004. And I was really excited about it. And at the same time, my partner at the time and I were trying to start a family. And in January of 2004, we had a miscarriage. And so it was like, oh, you know, this is a little bit, you know, a little heartbreaking. But then I was still okay to go and release my CD in April. And I had a big party, and I sent my CD to Dolly, and she, you know, wrote a thing saying, oh, it's so exciting and yay and all that stuff. And then in July, my brother passed away. And then in October, my dear friend from when I was like 5 years old, she passed away. And then we had a baby daughter that died the next day. And I was crushed. And it was at a time when I was supposed to be going out and promoting my CD, and I was going into New Thought churches and trying to sing. And every time I went into a church, I got the message, our thoughts create our reality. And that was when I really started to understand that that principle is a kindergarten-like statement that needs a master's degree understanding. And what I learned from that experience was that we, in fact, our thoughts don't create our reality at all. Our thoughts create our experience of our reality, but they don't, in fact, change events, especially when they involve other souls. And I had to stop singing. I couldn't sing anymore. It just wrecked me. So I didn't sing for 15 years. And I started working at Unity of the Blue Ridge, and I'm the youth ed minister there. And it's been fun, you know, working with the kids and everything, and I knew it was the next step in my spiritual path. And then COVID came, and it was like, well, what am I gonna do to keep these kids engaged and entertained somehow, and while giving them spiritual food. So I started doing videos, and I thought, well, heck, I've got to, just me talking, or my co-teacher, the two of us yakking back and forth wasn't going to be very entertaining. So I thought, well, I better do like music. So I bought a ukulele and I bought a microphone and I started singing again. And then I started doing music videos and I learned GarageBand and I learned, I got a green screen and I started putting me in front of like all these wacky scenes, and it got really fun to sing again. And it was like a miracle for me to be able to just do it and not be perfectionist. It was like I had to get it done by Sunday, and if it was not perfect, oh well, it had to go out anyway. So it was a great way for me to sort of get my feet wet. So one day I was trying to figure out a song, and I was picking songs that, matched whatever lesson we were doing at the time. And one day I needed a song for teaching the kids how to listen to their inner voice, and I couldn't find one that I liked. So I thought, well, maybe I could write one. So I wrote it, and then I wrote another song, and then I wrote another song. So I had never written songs before this whole COVID thing. So as we were all going through this, I started noticing Dolly was like doing everything. She was reading us bedtime stories. Did anyone see any of her bedtime stories? Right, she's reading us bedtime stories. And then she did something that nobody else did. And that was she donated $1 million toward the Moderna vaccine. And at the time, I was not all that interested in the vaccine. I just thought, I don't know, this is a little bit sketchy as far as I'm concerned. But when I saw that she was involved, I know her. And what I know of her is that being in her presence, there is something that comes from God, that moves through her, that stays with you if you've been in her presence for months. She's, if they don't come up with some kind of sainthood for her, I'm serious. I mean, I'm certain that there are miracles associated with her in some way, shape, or form. But when I realized that she was involved, I thought, okay, it's safe. I'm good. Because I know she doesn't involve herself with anything negative. She won't even have an interview with a reporter that has interviewed someone negative. So she does not allow that presence around her. So I went into that, listen to your inner voice, that lesson that I learned. And so I decided, yeah, I'm gonna do it, because I know that if she's involved, it's gold. So that's kind of why I went along with the whole vaccine. The third song that I wrote was, it came from this viewing of our society and where we are right now. And it's so troubling to me how opposed everything is and how politicized everything has become. And I kept thinking, like, why can't people just do like what Dolly would do? For example, when she heard that Dixie Stampede was offending people, everybody got all up in arms when she changed the name of her restaurant to just Stampede. And why did you give in to this whole thing? Why did you just keep the name? Who cares? And she's like, wait a minute, I'm a business. Why would if I find out that it hurts somebody's feelings, why do I want to continue hurting someone's feelings? It just is common sense to do the right thing. And I thought, that's it. It's just to do the right thing. And I kept thinking, if we only had more Dolly Partons in the world, we'd be in a whole different place. So I wrote a song that basically challenges all of us to ask ourselves one critical question. So I want to go ahead and sing that now. It seems our world has problems that we just can't solve. We can't agree on anything. Goodwill has dissolved. But there is one solution to everything we face. A certain kind of guidance that we can all embrace. When looking for direction, ask yourself one critical question. What would Dolly do if she were in my shoes? What would Dolly do? She'd do the right thing. She'd do the right thing. When her town was hurting and they lost their livelihood, she built a park to make new jobs and called it Dollywood. When Joslin burned to the ground and hundreds lost their homes, she raised them all the funds they need to lay their cornerstone. When looking for direction, ask yourself one critical question. What would Dolly do if she were in our shoes? What would Dolly do? She'd do the right thing. She'd do the right thing. We've been living life in isolation, physically apart. She gave us hope without vaccination and music from her heart. So ask yourself, what would Dolly do if she were in our shoes? What would Dolly do? She'd do the right thing. She'd do the right thing. What would Dolly do if she were in our shoes? What would Dolly do? She'd do the right thing. And we can too. And we can too.
So we're not going to Jubilee in action, we're going right into our next song, and thank you so much, Gabby. During our opening song, we always invite you to donate to the Hunger Baskets, and during this song, we invite you to donate to the work of Jubilee's organization.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find
It's in every one of us to be wise. So we might ask ourselves the question, what would Dolly do? Whatever your source of inner guidance, that guiding question that you ask yourself to come back to the wisdom that you know, I invite you to go into this week dancing with that divine part of yourself that knows the right next step. And so we bless all these gifts that have been offered today, the gifts of music, the gifts of money, the gifts of words, the gifts of song, the gifts of your presence here with each other. Go out asking yourself, what would Dolly do? What should I do? Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Hear what books your mother said. Read the books your father read. Try and solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you. Others take a different view. Oh my, hey, hey, hey. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. Ask why is danger staring you in the face? Yeah. keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may have new fears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be afraid to try. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. Love is gonna save the day. All I know, love is gonna save the day.